Okay guys, so welcome to the first tutorial as far as getting your link wheel set up and running. I'm just going to go through the different options available. When you first open up the Link Wheel Bandit, you'll see the dashboard here, and then from there you can just go to Tools. And then right now the CAPTCHA service settings, which will have the Death by CAPTCHA service available, isn't quite set up yet. We'll have that set up here very shortly. And then also the forum poster isn't totally set up yet. Um, so you can go into those, but they're not hooked up to anything, so don't worry about them at this time. So to get started, you're just going to go to Tools, Edit Global Settings, and then inside of Global Settings, you'll have a couple options here. The first option is Link Replacement Tag. Basically, this is any tag you want to specify. Typically, you want to make it fairly unique, so just normal text doesn't interfere with it. But basically, this is just a tag that you're going to use for the software to know when to drop a link into to any article that you have loaded in. I'll talk about this more when we get to the article loading stages, but just at this point, I would just leave it at default. And then the run event timeout. Basically, the way Link Wheel Bandit works is it'll have multiple events running down here in the Link Wheel log at any one time while it's processing. The event timeout is in seconds, so right now I have it set at 2 minutes. Um, Basically, after 2 minutes, it's going to time out the event. For one reason or another, it might take longer than 2 minutes to run. At this point, it's just going to retry that event, and that's where this run event max retries comes into play. It'll retry that event 5 times before considering it a failure, or if it finds an exception error, whatever error it might find, it's only going to try it 5 times. What we found in the past with testing is if you have really slow proxies, you want to set this event timeout a little higher. Typically, about 5 minutes is a good value, and then you want to set the retries to about 10. So a lot of these main two settings right here are kind of settings you want to test before as you run the link wheels, and depending on what kind of proxies you're using, to find the best values for these two items. The event threads is kind of self-explanatory. The app can run up to 25 threads at this time. Basically, that corresponds to 25 events at any one time running in the events log here. So basically, to start, I would just set this at 10. The sleep time is a little bit harder to explain. Um, I would just set this at this sleep time is in minutes, so I'm just going to set this at 10 minutes. Later on in the tutorials, I'll explain more about the sleep time in regards to how the Link Wheel Bandit goes throughout how it actually processes the link wheels while it's running, and the sleep time will come into play there. And then at this point, you want to put in your username and password for DeCAPTCHA. Right now, this is the only CAPTCHA service supported, but like I said, very soon we'll have the Death by CAPTCHA service implemented. Right now, it's being tested. So once that's implemented, we'll have another tutorial on how you can set up the DeCAPTCHA and the Death by CAPTCHA services. So at this point, you just want to enter in your username and password for DeCAPTCHA. And once all these other settings are set where you want them, basically default settings are typically fine. Just make sure the link wheel sleep time is a little bit higher than 1 minute. Set it at like around 10 or 30 minutes. Click on Save Settings. At this point, it'll go out and verify your DeCAPTCHA username and password. And once it's done doing that, you'll get a pop-up saying that you need to restart the app. So once you get the pop-up, just press OK. The app will then just restart the app, and then at that point you can go on to the next tutorial, and we'll get you going on the various settings on actually creating a new link wheel. So we'll talk to you in the next tutorial.